Unlike the band Limp BIZKIT, the Boss Metal Zone is not something I'm that familiar with. I mean, I've heard all about it and I know of its problems, but owning one is something I've never really experienced until now. And I think it might be one of the most controversial guitar pedals out there. And you could probably argue the same thing about Limp BIZKIT at one point, except as a band, of course. So today we're gonna combine them because I believe they're both kind of like the black sheep of their respective fields. I'm gonna try and make a Limp BIZKIT song using only the Boss Metal Zone for distortion, as well as some kind of weird effects to get that Wes Borland vibe. Apparently, Wes even used this pedal for a little while in the demo tapes. Regardless, this is either going to be really cool and fun or it's going to be completely unlistenable. So let's do it. I figured we would start with something like this, but with the Walrus Audio Julia. And then for the Metal Zone riff, I just ripped one of the presets straight from the manual and then dialed back the distortion a little bit because I don't want to make the mistake of just like blowing the thing out, right? That actually sounded much better than I was expecting. And what's interesting is that like when you mic up the guitar amp and then listen back to it, it sounds much better than what I actually heard in the room. For the drums, I think we should take inspiration from I'm Broke because I think they're just amazing in that song. All right, we should start with something simple like the snare. Now let's do the kick. Don't forget about the hi-hats. We need a nice crash right at the beginning. Now we need those snares. We definitely need to bring the velocity down by a little bit. When it comes to the groove, man, I think there's nothing more important than ghost notes. Gotta get those in there. And finally, let's put it all together. We need to get a kick in there again for the next part. Might as well do the hi-hats too. We gotta fix that snare up a little bit. Now we're gonna add the cymbals. The cymbals are actually a lot funner part to add. Now we're gonna do some more kick and snare. Still more work to do on the snare. Now this part I'm going to do manually, so we're going to fast forward through it. Now we're going to do the hi-hats. Now we got to do that ending, which is pretty straightforward. All right, now we got to get some guitars in there. Now we're gonna do the right one. That definitely padded it out a lot more. Now we're gonna try the first verse with the Boss Metal Zone. Before we judge anything, let's just get the second guitar in there and see how it sounds. It sounds okay. To me, it almost sounds like the chorus riffs. They sound much better with this drum track than the riff that I came up with the Metal Zone. But that being said, I think we're gonna add in some bass later and we'll see if that improves it, like with my Deftones video. By the way, if you're looking for something to practice, get my fretboard memorization cheat sheet from travelingguitarist.com/fretboard cheat sheet. What it is it's all the triads, the major and minor triads in every single key. Through the octave mapping technique and through a couple other techniques, you can actually just learn to memorize not only the notes of the fretboard, but you can also learn how to improvise in a bunch of different keys by understanding the the foundation of harmony, which is the triads, right? The foundation of chords. You can also sign up to my forum at forum.travelingguitarist.com. There you can chat with people about guitar and music and whatever else you'd like. Now for this next section, I think we should do something like subdued that's kind of like dissonant sounding. Then we'll make sure we do the same thing for the opposite track as well. Now we're gonna try that other riff that I did in the beginning where it's like dun 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 dun. Let's get the other guitar in there now. The funny thing is that it's almost like on its own that sounded pretty good, like the riff sounded okay, but then now that I'm mixing it in with the drums and stuff, it just doesn't work, and I don't know if that's because of the Metal Zone or if it's just the riff that I chose, but I think it actually might be a combination of both. But regardless, let's do this next section, which is kind of subdued as well. And let's finish it off with the same riff. Now that we're done with all the guitars, I think we got to add in some bass, and we're going to see if that like fills out the mix and makes it sound a little less like a buzz saw. So at this point, I'm thinking this song is almost completely unsalvageable. Like even when adding the bass, it's not really doing much for it. I'm not too sure what went wrong with this track. I think it's a combination of not only what I said before with the metal zone itself and also the riff choice, but I also think the way that the drums came out, it's just not sounding like it. It's just not it, you know? That said, we're gonna add the rest of the bass parts, and we're gonna see if that does something for it. Funny enough, the worst part of the song that I thought before, when you add bass to it, that actually sounds a lot better, especially when you add those octave notes in there on the bass. But yeah, the verse is just not working, unfortunately. Now we're gonna try adding the bass for the subdued part, and we'll see if that does anything. I actually think it did kind of help it out a little bit. And that part is just meh. I think that part worked out a little better. So in the end, this is easily the most mid project I've ever made. Like this song just turned out like terribly, probably for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. But you can let me know in the comments what you think, like what went wrong, what went well. I mean, I'm curious to know what your thoughts, and also like if you have any tips or whatever for how to make this thing sound good, let me know, because you know, I'd like to get the most out of the stuff that I have. But yeah, maybe next time it'll turn out a little better.